Hello everyone. So today in this video, I'm gonna talk about Omni Gateways and how we can create Omni Gateway and how we can transform our existing API into MCP Server using MCP Bridge from omni.mulesoft.com, and how we can enforce client-side enforcement policies and other policies as well on our MCP Server. So for this, I have created one specification, which is SAPI employee details, uh, and it has been published to Exchange. And in the runtime manager, if you see here, I have deployed this application on the Mule Gateway. Okay, so SAPI Omni employee details. This, if I show you, so this SAPI Omni employee details. If I send the request, this is employee num 2, this is for employee 3. So this API has been deployed to Cloud Hub, and the raml and this specification has been published to Exchange. Now I'll create how we can create Omni gateways. Then I'll add this API instances of the SAPI employee details. So I'll add Omni gateways. CTS demo. So this is only enabled for us. So I've created the trial account just for your information. So let me save and deploy. So your gateway is being deployed, so it will just take 5 seconds maybe. When the status is up and running, then I'll create the API instance for our Mule API. So it's still starting. So yeah, now it's deployed. So we have Omni CTS demo gateway. Now I'll add the API specification, and runtime would be Omni gateway. So we can create, we can select this Omni CTS demo, and let me just take the upstream URL for this. SAPI employee details, it is taking from the Exchange. Now next, let me give just different base path. So upstream URL is this one. Next, sorry. Route. Next. Now save and deploy. So we have created this API instance in API manager for our Mule API. Okay, now so what we have as of now, Omni Gateway, we have created this API instances for SAPI employee details, which has been published earlier to Exchange, and I have my API has deployed in Cloud Hub. Okay, so now I'll switch to enhanced, means omni.mulesoft.com. So in this one I have two endpoints: get employee salary by ID, get employee by employee ID. Okay, so now we'll go to API, and so this SAPI employee details is visible. So it should show two endpoints. So we can see instance 1 and version 1 is running. So API endpoints are this, and now we'll expose as MCP server. So we don't need to write any code to expose our existing endpoint as MCP server. So this is the API. So here you two endpoints are listing here. So I'll just expose let's say only this, get employee salary by ID. Okay, so means we have this options to expose only a particular endpoint. So I'll just expose this get employee salary by ID. So I'll click next. Mm, retrieve employee salary by employee ID. Now this I'll just keep this name. SAP CTS Omni MCP Server. Gateway is Omni CTS demo. So this would be our URL. Okay, now this is the required policies, and this is outbound policies. So these are auto applied. Now we'll create and deploy. So now our MCP server will be deployed to this Omni Gateway. Now we can just go to Exchange just to see. So we can see server name, SAP employee details. This one is actually this earlier one was created earlier, so this one I have created just now. So you can see here MCP server was deployed. So here we can see tools. Yes, so what is the tool name? You can see here SAP employee details get employee salary by ID. So this is the asset has been created in Exchange. So now we have MCP server exposed using MCP Bridge. So we have not written any code. So we have just converted our existing endpoint into MCP server using MCP Bridge from omni.mulesoft.com. So now I'll just check test in the Postman first. This was the URL SAP CTS. Now I'll just see the connect. So this is the tool SAP employee details get employee salary by ID, right? Now I'll see first tool ID not found in a tool list. Okay, yeah, so this is for employee ID 1. For 2, if I see Alex 3, now I'm not passing any client ID and secret, right? So now we are able to get the response using this MCP server URL. Now I'll just disconnect. Okay, now we have now we'll just go to API manager. Now I'll enforce the policy. So this was the SAP employee details from the API instances, and now we have agent and tool instances, which is SAP employee details server, right? So I'll just open this, and here we can add the policies. So these were automated, auto applied, all for MCP support schema, validation, payload, and trans router. So on top of that, I'll add client ID enforcement policy so that we can secure our MCP server. Client ID enforcement. Next. So we'll keep this client ID and secret as header. Now this policy has been applied, client ID enforcement. Now we'll request access SAP CTS Omni server. Now we'll copy this client ID 8E9E. Now if you see here, the contract should be there, Omni demo, right? So now the policy has been applied. Now if I test this, we should get validation error. It is connected. Now I'll retrieve for employee ID 3. So now you can see here client ID is not present. Now if I enable this, first I disconnect. Now it's connected. Now I'll run. Now we can see here, right? 2. This is for 2. Employee ID 1. This is for employee ID 1. Now what I'll do, I'll delete it. I'll integrate in cloud. Okay, so first thing, go to settings, developers, edit config. Now this is the configuration. URL is this. Okay, now we'll restart the cloud. Something, okay, yeah. This is now cloud desktop config. Now I'll again restart. So what you can see here, I have provided the URL. URL is the same which we have sent the request in Postman, and in header we have added the client ID and secret, right? So now it is okay, it is again giving some error. So now I've restarted the cloud. Now if I go to settings, developer, now we can see it's running, right? Now I'll ask, can you confirm if available? Yes, MCP Server details. Okay, now retrieve salary details for employee ID 2. Now it should retrieve the salary details for employee ID 2. So you can see here employee ID 2 Alex, and for employee ID 3, yeah, and so now it's working, right? So if we don't provide this client ID and secret, so it will not, respond. So just quick recap. First, what I did, I have written a specification and published it to Exchange and deployed the application to Cloud Hub, right? Now the next step is I created the Omni Gateway from the runtime manager, and you can also create the Omni Gateway from the runtime manager using your trial account. So I have created the Omni Gateway, and then I have created an instance of the Mule API for Mule specification, right? And I have targeted to Omni Gateway runtime. Okay, So once this API instance is created, now if we go to omni.mulesoft.com and we can search our APIs, so that API will be listed here, and exposed as MCP server button is enabled. So you can see here the number of endpoints and all. So we can select which endpoints we need to expose as MCP server. So once we expose and deploy, then that URL, using that URL, we can test in Postman as well. We can test, how we can test in Postman, we can just add, and then here we can select as MCP, and then we can provide the URL. We can connect and then run the tools, whichever tools it is you are willing to run, right? And you can provide the input, and then it will be done for the Postman. When you want to integrate with cloud, so you have to just go to this cloud, and then you can click on your profile and then settings, developer, and then edit config. So in edit config is JSON will be there, so you can create, you can provide your URL, and then transport I provided HTTP only, and then header. So header, if you don't if you don't enforce any policies, so you don't need to provide header. Without header it will work. But if you go again in agent and tools instances, and you have to add this, right, SAP employee details, and then you can add the policies, whichever policies you want to apply. And then you have to go to exchange and then request access in order to create the contract, so that those client ID and secret you have to note down, and then add in the headers, so that it will work. So hope you like it. You can give it a try. Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.